it's Rana, and today I have a layout for 52 weeks of 52 favorite photos and Mix It Up Monday. Our sketch today was from Mel Walkden, and this is her sketch. That's my final layout, little sneak peek here. And I'm going to get started with the mixed media. And I have to tell you, this sheet of paper was probably at least my third, maybe my fourth. I got up super early. I've had sick grandkids, and so they've been with me. And so I got up at 5. So you're seeing some, just lighting and no natural light here. So it's a little bit different than my normal. But anyway, I mixed up some flat magicals. And I tried several times to get the right color. There we go. The second thing that I was using there, I sprayed first, and it was just a mixture. It was a mixture of the flat magicals, and since I wanted a little sparkle, I also used some smooch spray in there with it, and I had just tried several times to get just the right color, and I made some backgrounds thinking that I would just die cut them because they were some great colors. They just weren't the exact color I was looking for this because I wanted it to match the paper that I was going with. So I played and played and played. Now I am using some solar paste, and that's by Ranger, and it's Golden Hour. This is beautiful on black paper, and it's kind of subtle on white, but I was doing it over the green sprays that I used. I used sprays, and then I also used a really old Luminart. It's kind of like shimmers where you have to get the pot all wet, and then it kind of makes a watercolor, and it has a little bit of a texture to it when you use it for splatters. So that's what I was splattering there, and you saw me do the spraying. So that was my background, and I am going to do one more thing you're going to see here in just a minute. Right now it is set aside just to dry just a little bit, and so I went ahead and pulled out my photos to mat, and I left this in. Normally I don't show me matting photos because of this right here. I never get them right. This cutter is my favorite. I love a good guillotine, and I had a great one. It broke, and then I went through like 4 trying to get another good one, but I got this one, and it is also a Tim Holtz. That's the same thing I use for my 12 by 12. But I really like the size of this, and it cuts great. It cuts very straight. I just, don't do a great job on eyeballing my measurements, so I always end up moving my picture and wiggling things around a little bit. So the center part of the sketch had some torn paper. So I do love some great torn papers. So I'm going to go ahead and tear mine. It's going to be a little bit different than hers. She had really called for a real thin second torn edge and a straight cut. But I just went ahead and tore both, and then I'm going to tear for the top and bottom, and it did look like that in the sketch. Mine's probably a little bit bigger than what the sketch showed, but that's okay. I like my torn edges, and I liked how this was turning out, so I wanted to get all 3 of these papers in. The green that I'm doing for the top and bottom was what I was really trying to match up, and I think it matched really well. So I like how that looks. And these are the photos I have chosen, and it is 52 favorites. So the reason I chose these for favorites were just because it was just a day in December, and this is my granddaughter, my youngest, and she is looking through it goes out to our sunroom, these little French doors. And I loved the photos. I love her little outfit. It was a mild day. She just had some socks and this little ruffle butts outfit on. It was super cute. And so, yeah, a favorite photo just because it was really nothing, but it was still sweet. And I liked how she was looking out there at the Christmas decorations. And So for my mixed media, you can see here that now I have pulled out my Nouveau gilding flakes. And while that solar paste was just a little tacky, I laid these over it. Now, you want to make sure that it's tacky but not squishy, if that makes sense. It needs to dry for a little bit. This I had tried this once before, and I did it when it was a little bit more tacky than what this is, but this is working really good. So some of the areas were more tacky than others. I really wanted just kind of a hit and miss on those little sparkles. I didn't mention that either. That was a Tim Holtz stencil that I used, and it was a little. I thought it looked like, the sparkles kind of look like Christmas lights, so that's why I chose that. And this that I'm using here it is a Sizzix Christmas tree, and it's for making a shaker. I bought this from Cherry on Top. They had a whole bundle of these, and I thought I would give them a try. Honestly, I think they're a little thick for scrapbook pages, so I probably won't be doing them often. I like it, but it's just a little thick, and I don't know how to make it not so thick. So we'll see, but it's a little much, and it is going to take up more space in my album than what I would have really liked. So, but it is what it is, and it's different. So something different, and that's what I'm going for. So you can see this has dried completely. This now has been sitting for about 2 hours, and I just go in and rub over those gilding flakes with my fingertip, and you get this beautiful sparkle. So I wanted some of the little sparkly lights or whatever, the little diamonds, to be the gold with the gilding flakes, and then some are that subtle solar paste that is also gold, but it's just not as, it's not as bright and shiny. So I really like how that turned out. You can kind of see there it's catching the light, and it looks really good. And I really went all out with the gold on this. So I'm going to go ahead and put my top and bottom down. And then this is the center, and you can see the mixed media just kind of peeking out from behind, which is what I was going for. It did cover up some of what I did, but I had a lot of fun playing with it, and so I'm not too worried about some of it being covered up. I knew it would be. So I'm going to go ahead and decide on my photos. I go ahead and back them with Fun Foam, and I back all three, and then I end up tearing off the Fun Foam off of one of the photos, that top one there, because I decided it needed to be flat to the page so that the Christmas tree could be over top of it, because the Christmas tree is already so thick, it definitely didn't need to have another, layer of Fun Foam to make it even, and I wanted it to overlap the photo a little bit. So that is what I'm doing with that. And I'm kind of looking and thinking, oh, I wanted this to kind of overlap a little because it's going to look funny just off to the side, but I sure don't want it over this, layered photo, the extra layer. So I'm trying to decide there, and I kind of think about that for a while, and I'll probably go off screen, still trying to decide how I want it. In the sketch, Mel had one photo that was larger than the other two, and it was going the other direction, but I really wanted to use these photos because these were part of my 52 favorite photos that I wanted to use. So that's going to alter how I do the sketch a little bit. And I am going to plan on these three all the way until the very end. And I just didn't like how it was. I wanted it to be more like what she had in the sketch. And so I'm going to go ahead and add a fourth photo, which I already had printed anyway. So it worked out fine. I just used all four that I had, and I like how it comes out in the end. So this is some rub-ons that go with this collection, and I didn't say the name of this collection. It's a Simple Stories one, and it may have been a couple years old. Honestly, I'm not sure. I can look it up and put it in the description box. I also found this old Heidi Swap trim that's gold and I love it. I thought, oh my goodness, this will be so fun for this since I'm kind of going all out with the gold. So I use my red line tape. It's a little bit thicker one. And I'm going to put this in so that just the top part, right through the middle, is a little wire. And I kind of got it stuck down too far and then some of it came up, but it's going to work out fine. I end up adding another layer and then just folding that top little bit over, and it works out even though some of it kind of got pulled off there. Let's see, I just folded it over and it works out fine. It is a little bit thick, but not too much really. And I like how that looks. It just adds to the sparkle and the gold. So I thought that was a fun little add. I've got 2 sets of rub-ons there. And then I'm going to come in, this is Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive in this little applicator. And I'm going to come in with some more of these gold flakes. And that is just, this is real time. I didn't let it dry at all. I just put it on there. And since that Nuvo dries fairly quickly, I just use my finger and smush it down, pull out another couple of flakes and just smush them down with my finger. And it's kind of sporadic. It's hit and miss. And I love that. It's just little pops of gold. And it looks really neat. I really like how that looked. And again, you know, most of it gets covered up, but I was having fun and playing, and so I'm good with that. And besides that, that pot of gilding flakes will last me, you know, for the next 80 years, and I probably won't make it 80 years. So it'll be fine. I can use a lot, and then nobody's going to care. So that stuff does kind of get everywhere. I went off screen, wiped everything up, washed my fingers, and I'm coming back in. I found another thing with some gold, and this little lovely right here just nestled in perfectly. Couldn't have been more of a happy accident there with that title spot. These are older. I'm not even sure which collection they went with. Somebody else probably knows. It kind of looks Maggie Holmes to me, but again, I have no idea. They were just some little puffy thickers, and they were the shiny gold that I was using, and so I thought I would try and get some used up. I have never really been huge for gold, and I've kind of embraced it more with these granddaughters. So I'm gonna use up all the gold I can get on here. Go ahead and commit on the shaker. And it is cute. I used a ton of sequins in there. I used 3 different pots that I had just from Tuesday morning that were full of sequins, and I just pick through and decide on which colors I thought would match best. One of them had red and green, but the red was too dark, but the green was perfect. And then the other one had a better red, so I picked some of those. And then I had a third one that had some great golds in it, so I pulled some of those out. And that took a minute. I did all of that off screen because this is a little bit longer video than I normally have, just because of trying to include the mixed media in there. I am using some wet glue behind these thickers because they are definitely old and they're not sticking very well at all. So I'm trying to, I do glue all of them down. I'm not sure if I glued them all down on screen or not, but they do all have to have some wet glue behind it, especially those at the top where, you know, it's going over the mixed media also. There was no way they were going to stick. So the Simple Stories rub-ons, they actually don't work as great. And again, they are a couple of years old, but not super old. I've got much older ones that work probably better than these did. I still like them, and I like how they look, but they were a little harder to rub on than you know, say your 49 and Market for sure. These are just a little bit lesser quality probably. But again, they match exactly and I like them, so we're going to go with it. She had 3 banners at the top left and the bottom right in the sketch, and I went with these little rub-ons and then just added a couple little sprigs of gold in each, and that is going to be in place of the banners that she had. I wanted my torn paper to be the top and the bottom and not have banners covering that. For this one, normally it wouldn't bother me, but I just kind of felt like I wanted it to kind of peek out of the torn paper instead of going over top, and rub-ons are perfect for that. So I'm still trying to make sure, oh, actually I'm scuffing up the edges of that. And then I'm adding a little extra adhesive behind all of my edges and things just to make sure everything's tacked down well. Normally that would be something I would do off screen as well, but so I'm liking how it looks. I was trying to show you my sparkle. Here's where I went in and added that 4th photo that I already had. And I like that a little better, especially in person. Overhead, I kind of liked it the way it was too, but in person, I really like it with this 4th photo on here. It kind of still feels odd, like there's the 5 elements right there in the middle because of the Christmas tree. So it works out good. I do a lot of times like 3 photos on a layout, but this isn't going to bother me. I like the 4 a lot as I'm looking at it just here beside me. I went back through the stickers that went with this collection and chose a few things. The little pieces over the pictures say Merry, Bright, and then I have a little heart in between. And I thought that was kind of appropriate. And then I found a little heart that's going to go by her face because she's looking off in all of them except for the one. And I kind of wanted that one to be front and center and showcased a little bit. They are cute even where she's looking out there at the decorations and things. So I liked it. So these are 2 hops, and there will be playlists for both. Lots of people playing along. You can also find the Mix It Up Monday information on the Paper Snob Facebook group, and that's a fun group. There's a lot going on over there, so you'll definitely want to check that out, and you can play along with us anytime. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.